What's up? Bobby missed our intro. Much better.
My bad.
We here at the No Holds Barred podcast are celebrities, and we deserve our intro. This is our intro. You know, when we come out and the pyro goes off, Alfred, that's our intro. And our producer, Mr. Q. I don't know if we should be offended or not.
No. We'll let them pass. We'll let
you slide now, Bobby, because you're officially kind of over your cold. So we'll let you slide. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the #1 wrestling podcast right here. Hello, Fishing Herald. And that echo? Yes, botch. It's okay. Right here on the FinTalk Sports Network, and I am talking about No Holds Barred. I, of course, am your gracious host, Alex Make That Money Brown. And I'm joined by my compadre, Mr. Alfred Hollywood Matthews. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good about yourself.
I'm doing good.
Bad weather earlier.
Yeah, in case we have a lot of fans out in Florida watching. We have a lot of fans in Texas, a lot of fans all over the world. But here in Houston specifically, it was raining freaking cats and dogs. I mean, my car was moving from side to side. It was bad. Like, very bad. Yes. By the way, you see this shit? This shit's coming down this weekend. I look like fucking Grizzly Adams right now.
Wow.
This is bad. This is bad. But on other news, today I was officially like my last contract day at work, so I'm out for the summer. So that's good. I have more time to focus on things like the podcast and my life. We have an amazing show for everyone today. Today is kind of like a remembrance type show. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but we lost a great living legend in wrestling. I think, was it today?
That was yesterday.
We lost him yesterday. So I just felt like it was the kind of need, because we have had some wrestlers die in the last couple of years, to make a kind of like tribute episode today. So, Alfred, how do you feel about that? Would you do a tribute episode today?
Yeah, that's perfect. It's only right we can pay our respects for the ones we lost.
Exactly, and we're gonna talk about some current things to start off, and then we'll go into, the memorial and all that stuff. But the first thing I want to talk about is in AEW. Tony Khan came in about 2 weeks ago and announced that CM Punk was coming back. Now, I don't know if this is just me, but it's almost like when they announced that Cody Rhodes was entering the Royal Rumble. Why not let it be a surprise instead of announcing he's coming back? I mean, Alfred, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I know people read the dirt sheet, so they probably was going to get the news that he's coming back anyway, but at least try to make it a surprise, if anything. Like I said, I agree wholeheartedly on that. It would have been better that he would have came back on the premiere episode of Collision like unannounced. That would have been pretty damn good. But here we are. I'm still gonna watch it just for his return anyway. But
exactly.
Yeah.
So producer, can you put that Real Talk Wrestling comment up again? So, in case you guys didn't know, Real Talk Wrestling is hosted by another member of our show, Josh Kimmel, who's our AEW guru, Botchamania. Yes. Okay. So, I would have loved to have Josh come on and talk about this, because he loves to call CM Punk Phil, and now I see why. I don't know if it's just me, but the whole CM Punk coming back, are you excited for it? Are you not? I'm just like, what if he acts like back at him and then leaves again? Like, what are your thoughts?
Anytime CM Punk comes comes or shows up, I'm excited for it. Like I said, Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's definitely the top 5. So like I said, anytime whether it's on AEW, he could be on TNA, I'll still tune in and everything like that. Um, like I said, I'm always excited when he shows up or anything. Anytime he shows up, so definitely excited about him coming back. Hopefully, this is like um he's back healed from his injury. But hopefully he can make like a run and everything and don't leave again and then come back right back and
Yeah.
everything like that. But I'm excited about
I don't know.
coming back.
I'm in, like I said, I'm indifferent on CM Punk right now because of the way that he left the company and all that. And I mean, I know AEW is now doing this AEW Collision show, which I'm guessing is probably going to be like almost like their version of Raw and SmackDown. If I wouldn't, they have Dynamite and then Collision. So I'm wondering if, I guess, CM Punk will be the star of the Collision show and not the Dynamite show and all that. But I don't know. Like, somebody needs to make me excited with a comment, or Alfred, somebody make me excited for CM Punk coming back. Why should wrestling fans like me that are like skeptical on CM Punk be excited for him to come back?
I mean, where we start? We want to start with the theme song already alone. That alone should make you be excited.
I listen to his theme song all the time. It's in my workout playlist.
But hey, you might listen to it all the time, but it's no better way to listen to it while he's like coming out in a wrestling arena. Like we can listen. I listen to Cody Rhodes' theme song all the time, and I still like want him like be excited for his theme song when he plays when he comes out in an actual match or like comes out in an arena. So that alone is basically the reason why. And then of course we all know he's one of the best talkers on the mic.
Right.
So we want to definitely. I'm pretty sure on the premiere episode he's gonna when he comes back he's gonna do like some mic talk because he hasn't been on TV in a long time. So he's gonna definitely do like a promo of some sort. So that alone get you excited about that. And then who is going to be his first feud back? That kind of get you wondering and skeptical, like who wondering like, hey, who he's going to fight when he come his first feud back. So that kind of wonder. So that alone, those 3 things alone is something that gets you excited for Punk return.
You knew that answer like right off the bat. You were like, I know what this guy is going to tell me, and because like you just said, CM Punk is one of your favorite wrestlers, so you got to defend your guy. Here I am, shit talking. You're one of your favorite wrestlers, but no, like, do you think CM Punk opens up the show on the 17th?
Oh yeah, I think so. It is either that or he's probably gonna end. He's gonna end it. I prefer him to start. I prefer they start the premiere show off with a bang and him coming out just like he made his debut as the first thing they showed on the show. I think on the premiere episode he should come out. They should have that first as the first segment of the show. Him coming back, coming out and everything.
Do you still think it's going to be a big pop? As if unless it was, I mean, I think it's going to be a big pop because it is in Chicago. But do you think if it was a surprise, it would have been a bigger pop, like the Cody Rhodes debacle at Rumble?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And since like you said, this debut show is on in Chicago, it's not going to have the big pop as his debut, clearly. Right. But if it was a surprise, I think the roof probably would be like crazy. He would got a super huge pop as well. I think the pop he'll have now that they announced it is going to be pretty good, but it's nowhere near compared to what it would be if it was a surprise or his debut.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Chicago's crowd is one of the top crowds in wrestling history.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
that I mean, they're Punk. If Punk doesn't show up, we riot type. I mean, they love him. He absolutely it breathes. He owns that city of Chicago. Absolutely owns that city. Course, I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably have more CM Punk stuff than Chicago Cubs stuff walking around.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
To throw out baseball talk. Just letting everyone know. Also, for everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe, Fin Talk Sports Network. We got great content. And if you're interested, like I said, baseball, if you're interested in hosting a baseball show, reach out to us. We would love to have you as a host of a baseball show. Anyway, back to wrestling. So I don't know if you saw, but Braun Breaker the other day, Chicago is a top wrestling crowd, not like their football team gives them anything to cheer for.
Slow blow.
Okay, that's
Ryan's a Packers fan. He's a Packers fan, so I knew that coming was coming.
A shot at the Bears. It's a shot at the Bears.
Yeah, I knew that one was gonna come.
So Real Talk Wrestling. Can you put that comment up, Bobby? So both CM Punk announcements were booed back-to-back shows. Just FYI, proof right there. Okay, I don't think he's earned the AEW fans' trust yet, because I think he has to prove to them that this will not happen again. That he will not walk out and leave for a certain amount of time. I don't know. I think he needs to do something to gain their trust. Now, like you said, you mentioned.
Okay, if that's the case, they might as well just make him come back as a heel. If that's the case,
they should. I 100% would want CM Punk heel. A heel CM Punk.
If I'm Khan, I'm building on that. The fact that what that comment just said, I'll build on that and be like, hey, since they booed me, I'll be like, build on like CM Punk, like you said, they booed on the past 2 shows. Like, if I'm Khan, I would make CM Punk like come back as a heel and be like, hey, I don't care what you all say, like to the fans and everything. Hey, I'm back, and like they'll be like a perfect
absolutely
return, especially in Chicago.
Oh my God! If
Chicago,
let's say he just started talking smack about the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
Boom! My attention will be hooked right there.
Oh yeah, right there. Mine too, most definitely.
My attention would be hooked. All right, so just letting you know, I don't know if you saw Braun Breaker came out on Instagram, on WWE's Instagram, and said, I want Seth Rollins next. So make CM Punk the Dom of AEW and just make him a joke because that kid's no, he's not gonna be that bad. He won't be that bad. Braun Breaker calling out Seth Rollins. Thoughts?
My first initial thoughts was slow your roll, buddy.
Slow your roll.
At the same time, I was Yeah, I told him to slow down. Now I won't go that far yet because he hasn't even made it on the main show yet. That was my first initial thoughts, but I wanted Braun Breaker to get drafted to one of the shows when they did the draft, and it didn't happen. But looking back now, it's like the real reason why he probably did that is to have Seth Rollins show up in NXT is to boost the ratings, which is not too bad of an idea.
No, because if you look at it, Baron Corbin, I think Baron Corbin and Ali.
I think Ali is back. Yeah, Ali is back.
Ali is going back to NXT, doing some stuff over there.
And then of course I read a rumor earlier that Nick Khan is attending he's using like the main roster stars. He intends to do it. I'm sorry. To go on WWE in order to draw viewers. Ahead of like the rights renewal from the USA Network. So showing the network, this is why we should renew the contract and everything. So that's why you're going to see more. Probably, I wouldn't be shocked if you see more main stars going to NXT. So obviously the match hasn't been made official, but I think Seth Rollins should accept the challenge, but only going to NXT to kind of make NXT's ratings go up. But I wouldn't mind seeing it just to see. I
mean, I personally, I don't know if I would tune in to Tuesday night to NXT if Seth Rollins went on there, because I don't tune into NXT anyway. So
right. I read the spoilers. If anything, I read the spoilers more, but having Seth Rollins show up on that show will probably get me to tune in. To be honest, and they've done it in the past where it's like where they'll send like AJ Styles over there, like randomly, like send AJ Styles there. When New Day was there, things like that. And it kind of got me tuning in there because we know those guys, and that's what they should do with the with main stars every now and then to go to NXT. And I think, like I said, they'll get a lot of people tuning in that way. But I wouldn't mind Braun Breaker challenging Rollins. Obviously, he's not going to.
No. I don't think he's gonna win. I think the first Seth Rollins feud. I don't know right now what they're setting it up for, but it might be Finn Balor.
Balor, yeah.
But I mean, Seth Rollins Finn Balor rivalry would be interesting because speaking of Judgment Day, there are a lot of rumors right now that either Finn is going to be turning on Damian or Damian's going to be turning on Finn. And
I think it's going to be the latter.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the latter because I had a discussion with someone and they asked me like who would be the more likely person to leave Judgment Day, and I told them straight up Damian Priest.
So do you think Finn Balor would turn on Damian?
Yeah, I honestly could book. You could actually book it real well if have Damian Priest turn on Finn, because think about it. Damian Priest was the as far as the current people in Judgment Day, he's the oldest one that was in the group, because he joined and helped Edge at WrestleMania and everything. And then all of a sudden Finn Balor just came out of nowhere and he's the leader of the group. Right. So Finn, I know Damian Priest would feel some type of way. So you can like build it to where, hey, you ain't running Judgment Day, come to think of it, because I was the one that was the oldest members of Judgment Day. You can actually build a story for that, things like that. So I think, yeah. And Ryan said, yeah.
That's the whole reason. It's that JD McDonough, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
I think that's the rumored person to be joining Judgment Day, because I mean, if you had Finn and JD, they're both from Ireland. So, right. And I know Finn actually trained JD McDonough. So, I mean, that'd be a nice pairing. And I'm just wondering, Damian Priest's solo career, because would he be a heel or a face? That's the thing is, let's say Finn does turn on Damian. Are they pushing a Damian face run right there?
I can see that as well. I prefer him. I mean, I like him as a face. To actually looking back of what he's done as a face coming up, and then when he turned heel as Judgment, I actually like him as a face more than a heel. I mean, I'm not a huge Damian Priest fan, but I actually like him as a face. So if anything, I think Damian Priest will be the likely one to leave Judgment Day.
Okay. No, I definitely can see that, and that's interesting to see. It's ridiculous that they're teenagers. They started getting. That's true.
That's absolutely true.
It's true.
That's true.
There's been many signs over the last couple of weeks about a possible Judgment Day breakup. Because I think the story is right now, I mean, for Judgment Day, Rhea and Dom are like separate from Damian and Finn. It's almost like two different types of storylines. Yeah.
Yeah, you could easily see that, because Dom is actually winning me over.
Is he?
Because he's getting crazy amount of heat for one, and that means you're doing your job well if you get in the crowd to like talk over you and boo the hell out of you.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually winning me over. And his matches, honestly, is not that bad. Like his matches recently, it's actually, like I said, it's actually not bad.
He's learning how to actually establish because I remember when he first started, I was like, oh my God, Dominic, come on. But I think his training has developed so much that now he legit looks like an actual wrestler.
Right.
Look, the fact that you just said that he's getting booed when he tries to talk. I mean, he's doing his persona of what I think his role is meant to be in this company, which is that guy that everyone can't stand.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one member of Judgment Day that needs the faction to exit. I'm good with them getting their singles runs. Okay. So Ryan Taylor, our number one fan, obviously. Thinks they're good at getting their singles runs. I don't know about. I think Finn and Damian would be okay. I can't. Dom obviously not. Dom's gonna have to stick with Rhea no matter what. So, anyway, let's talk about. Did you watch AEW last night or no?
I didn't catch it. I was focusing on the the NBA finals more.
Sorry, Miami fans. Sorry, we already talked about it.
I'm sorry. I was kind of focusing watching that one. So I'm a huge basketball fan, so that's why I was focused. I didn't really catch it.
I watched bits and pieces of the MJF Adam Cole promo, and Real Talk Wrestling had a show literally right before, I believe, right before this one, on their network about the MJF Adam Cole possible feud, and the fact that, number one, this is just my opinion, like Adam Cole and MJF, to sign me up for that all day long, baby, all day long. Now, do I think Adam Cole is the one to take the title of MJF? No. Would I be upset if Adam Cole does take the title of MJF? No, because I do think that Adam Cole will be champion of AEW, and he'll have one of these long reigns in AEW. But what are your thoughts on Adam Cole starting his feud with MJF?
I like Adam Cole as both competitors. I'm guessing. Was the promo on yesterday? Was it
it was like a 15-minute promo,
good, or was it? It was
it
amazing.
it was fire. Like the first I think I watched the first 3 or 4 minutes of it, and I was like, whoa, okay. Like it was outstanding. Shots fired both way. Like he was ready for story time, baby, and MJF's like, screw your stories and all that. So,
like I said, I might have to watch, because I recorded it, so I haven't seen it yet. I might have to watch it when our show is over and see how great it was. But as far as like the two gentlemen, I like the match pairing and everything. I still think MJF will retain the title when he faces Cole. But like I said, I thought Adam Cole was one of the more underrated stars when he was with WWE.
Yeah,
they kind of dropped the ball with him, and he went to AEW. And I'm glad he's getting his opportunity to show what he could do. And like I said, MJF speaks for himself. One of my favorites as well. In AEW, so I'm interested to see how that feud going out. And Adam Cole, baby, yeah, I'm glad it's too.
Yeah. And look, I mean, he basically, if you look at Adam Cole, I think all his, what was his group called on NXT? Undisputed Era.
Yeah, Undisputed Era. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone is on AEW except Bobby Fish, who's on Impact.
Right.
Because Roger Strong is now on AEW. Kyle O'Reilly is now in AEW, who we haven't seen in a while. I don't even know if he still works for the company or not. Ryan Taylor, a correspondent, please look. But I mean, he's at WWE dropped the ball on Adam Cole, letting him leave to go to AEW. 100%, because Adam Cole was going to be a future WWE champion. He was going to be amazing things. I mean, not saying that he hasn't done amazing things in AEW, but the fact is that Adam Cole, as a wrestler overall, and his persona, because I think he was trying to be like the heel persona, but it's not working because he's too much. The fans just love him, absolutely just love him to death.
Right. As they should. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Headphones issues. But anyway, like, I mean, I would definitely go check out the MJF Adam Cole promo if anyone's watching.
Yeah. I'm checking it out when our show is over. I did. I recorded it.
Yeah.
The show.
Real Talk Wrestling. If you want to comment on the promo, please do. Please comment. Ryan Taylor, you are looking for if Kyle O'Reilly still works for AEW. There you go. There's your answer. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is this whole bloodline chaos. I mean, what happened this past Friday night on SmackDown when, they were given the hug and all of a sudden Roman says no to basically Jimmy coming back, and then Solo just bites him there.
Oh, brother.
Oh, I mean, I'm telling you, they're making this bloodline story better and better and better.
Of course, yeah.
And the rumored right now, I want to get your thoughts on that Roman is going to fight. This is what I'm reading is for Roman's career right now. It's Roman fights Jimmy at Money in the Bank. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
SummerSlam, Roman and Solo versus Jimmy and Jay. Okay. The next one is Roman versus Jay. And then I believe the next one they had after that was Roman versus Solo. And then WrestleMania 40 or whatever in Philadelphia next year, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes again. And then the last block was Roman versus The Rock after he loses the titles to Cody.
So where was this room? Where was this rumor found?
On Facebook.
actually, that's perfect booking right there.
But what are your thoughts on this bloodline story? I mean, Friday Night SmackDown, I was just like, what? Like, AEW creative, bravo, because you made bloodline absolutely even more watchable right now.
Of course, and like I said, competition is always a good thing. So, yeah, that like I said, bloodline story. The storyline is by far my favorite one in recent memory. From storyline perspective, not group perspective, but storyline perspective is one of my favorite one. I enjoy following it because it's like every week you want to tune in to the next week and see what's going to happen next with the group, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's actually supposed to be. Uh, Whoever, like I said, perfect booking how they ended SmackDown when they gave Roman the new championship, the undisputed Universal Championship.
Yep.
And
Which
like
basically means that there's no 3 titles anymore. He just has the one.
It's just two, yeah. It's just two, like the two main ones now, so which is good. And Jimmy, like I said, he said he wanted to protect his family. That's why he kicked Roman.
Right.
But I did not see Solo turning on his brothers after what he was saying. Like when he told Roman that he was like his brothers, so he was like they're brothers. So all of a sudden you'll think, okay, he might be turning on Roman. The next thing you know, he just Samoan spiked the hell out of his own
Jimmy,
brother. So that's perfect booking. So and like I said, I'm curious to see what's going to happen now, and that's how you supposed to book storylines to make it seem like you excited. What you gonna say?
Now the attention turns to Jay. Like I've always been saying, is who does Jay align with? His own brother in Jimmy, his own twin brother in Jimmy, or does he align with Roman Solo and turn completely on his brother? I think we are in for something that's gonna be out. I'm super excited for tomorrow night SmackDown. I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen.
Of course.
And that's why SmackDown is a superior show to Raw right now. Because moment. I didn't watch Raw this past week. I don't know if you did. Was there anything exciting on Raw that you noticed? So Michael Motivation said Friday he will align with Roman. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
What was the comment? What was the comment?
He said Michael. Can you pull up that comment, Bobby, from Michael Motivation? He says Friday he will align with Roman.
Friday he will align with Roman.
Yep.
Okay. We will see. But as for answer your question, it was just a typical
Monday night
Raw episode. Nothing really like stood out. I'm glad my side chick Kaden Carter and her partner got TV time, even though they got like destroyed by Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, which was going to happen. But like I said, it was just a typical episode.
Did they have any in the Money in the Bank qualifying matches?
That is a good question. So they had for the women they did Zoe Stark and Natalya. Zoe Stark won that one.
Obviously,
I'm trying to think off the top. That was the only one that I can recall.
Okay.
Oh, and Becky Lynch and Sonya Deville, they had the Money in the Bank qualifying match as well. But as far as the men, they didn't have
I guess Becky won.
Qualifying match. Yeah, Becky won. Yeah, okay. So Becky's in it. So they didn't have any men's Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Because they want LA Knight to win it. That's why. I'm telling you.
Yeah. LA Knight, yeah. Which he should. God dang it. He definitely should.
Yeah.
And everything. Because right now, only, like I said, they only announced Ricochet, Shinsuke, and LA Knight. So it's 3 more to be determined.
Yeah.
And based on those names so far, LA Knight should be the favorite to win it.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I think the 4th and 5th spots, it's gonna be Butch versus Baron Corbin and Mustafa Ali versus Santos Escobar. And then Matt Riddle's having a qualifying match, but they haven't said who he's going to face yet. So, based on all of those names, yeah, LA Knight got to win. I'm sorry,
absolutely,
LA Knight has to.
Because I think they're setting up for Cody Brock 3, which.
Oh Lord, no.
WWE, listen to me right now. Okay, Cody Brock, no one gives a shit, and I'm sorry for cursing. Cody Brock, no one cares because there's no story. As our own Josh Kimmel has said, there is no story to this rivalry between the two. There's nothing developed. They don't have feud every week. That's my rant.
The only bright spot is there'll be the rubber match between the two. So hopefully this is the last.
I thought they were going to fight it. They're surprised they're not saving it for SummerSlam.
Right, and like I said, it leads me to believe they're saving something big for Cody at SummerSlam. If this is probably the rubber match of the feud, because there's no way in the world they're gonna fight 4 times.
I don't know. I'm just so sick of it. Like absolutely just sick of it. Going with this stipulation match at SummerSlam allegedly. Stipulation match, who cares? All right. Stipulation is don't have the match. That's the stipulation. Okay, now let's get to the reason that we are doing this episode tonight is to remember all the past superstars that have left this world from us. Starting off with the Iron Sheik, who obviously when the Iron Sheik passed away yesterday, I got the notification from 3 or 4 different outlets. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, Bleacher Report, ESPN. I mean, it's all like that, stating about the passing of the great Iron Sheik. So, what, Alfred? I know you, when we talked earlier, you said you had some thoughts on Iron Sheik.
Oh yeah. So when I found out about him, I was at work. It was from his official Twitter account, and if you follow Iron Sheik, like on Twitter, ironically, his one of my favorite moments is memories is the way he used to tweet crazy stuff out of nowhere. It could be random stuff, but funny thing is, it wasn't even him that was tweeting on his accounts. It was 2 other people. I guess his I don't know who, what it associates with him, but it was those 2 people was tweeting out of his account. So when I first saw the news, I saw his Twitter, and then I saw it from the outlets and WrestleZone and things like that. But yeah, Iron Sheik definitely will be missed. He was a legend in the wrestling industry. He was the only Iranian champion in WWE history. So he won it in the 80s, and he was the reason why Hulkamania even began, because Hulk Hogan beat him for the title, and he was and especially in the 80s. Obviously, I'm a 90s baby, but
Yeah.
doing like reading up, growing up, in the 80s, he was part of like the wrestling boom in the 80s, a big part of it. I'm sorry, and everything. So he was definitely a legend in his own right. My favorite, well, I have two favorite moments. One was when he was wrestling at when he was wrestling in WrestleMania 17 in the gimmick Battle Royal, and he took forever to come to the ring. Bobby Heenan's commentating was like, "By time Iron Sheik comes to the ring, it'll be WrestleMania 38." Like that comment is like, one of my favorite Bobby Heenan
Yeah.
comments ever when he
Yeah.
came out. And then the second one, which is like it's kind of was my guilty pleasure because rest in peace Ultimate Warrior, but I don't know what Iron Sheik had against Ultimate Warrior like in real life, but it was a YouTube video of him, Iron Sheik pulling up to where Ultimate Warrior was when he was signing like autographs at like a convention or something. I forgot what it was, but Iron Sheik was like legit pissed at Ultimate Warrior about something. So when he pulled up the Ultimate Warrior just brushed him off and everything, just acting like calm and everything. And Sheik was just like ranting on Warrior. And this is on YouTube. It's like it's hilarious. Like I said, it's my guilty pleasure. I watch this all the time. And the way Iron Sheik slapped his agent, Iron Sheik's agent, like in the chest, is like freaking hilarious. Like I'm not even funny. Like I hate to say it, but like my two main like favorite memories of Iron Sheik,
Yeah.
uh everything. But yeah, he'll definitely be missed. And
So I wrote
everything.
down
But yeah,
I wrote down some top 5 Iron Sheik moments, and number
okay.
1 I have Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov as the tag team champions, known as the
Yeah,
top heels at that time.
because they won the title at
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1, which was a
Mm-hmm.
big deal.
Yep.
Everything. That's definitely a good
So,
moment. Yeah.
and then he won his first battle royal at Madison Square Garden, the first ever battle royal that was held at Madison Square Garden. So I like Iron Sheik, one of the GOAT heels, reunited with his tag team partner Nikolai Volkov in heaven. Now they can tag it together in heaven.
Oh yeah.
And then so Sheik joining Sergeant Slaughter, who did you know that apparently Lacey Evans is Sergeant Slaughter's daughter?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, I thought you was gonna say. I thought you was gonna say. I read somewhere that Sergeant Slaughter's daughter was unhappy with how Lacey Evans I guess the gimmick or
Oh,
how he dressed.
okay. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Because I was
that's
reading
what I was about
something
to say.
about
Yeah,
it.
I was about to
Okay,
say
I
that.
thought it was
I
his
read that.
daughter.
Nah, it was Sergeant Slaughter's daughter was reportedly upset with Lacey
The way
Evans
that
of
way
how I guess,
Lacey Evans is portraying a sergeant.
or it's either that or how she was like her attire or something. It was something
Okay.
crazy.
Okay.
Basically, yeah,
I got it. Now it
yeah.
makes
I
more
was gonna say
sense. Yeah,
something.
makes more sense now.
Yeah, I read
Um,
that the other day actually.
so Sheik joins Sergeant Slaughter and is known as Colonel Mustafa.
And back in the day, that was a big deal because if you like followed like in the 80s and everything, Sheik actually him and Sergeant Slaughter had a feud.
Yeah.
So they was like that was a major feud back in the day and everything. And to see him team up with him after that, that was like they brought major heat when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Number
that was you
4,
said that's
like
your
you
number
said,
two?
number 4 was Hulk Hogan. Basically, it's the start of Hulkamania.
Oh yeah.
That's super iconic because Hulk Hogan is one of the top wrestlers ever in WWE history. And just when you say Hulkamania, I mean, for Iron Sheik to be basically his loss to Hogan is the start of Hulkamania, that's a big moment in wrestling history.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then his Hall of Fame induction in 2005. So,
yeah.
I mean, great moments for Iron Sheik. Much love thoughts to your family, and all wrestling fans obviously are feeling the loss of it. But let's talk about some other. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, he was a Twitter legend. Even though he wasn't the one behind the tweets on his account, it's still like we still associate Iron Sheik being a Twitter legend, like on social media with his comments. Just crazy.
So
Bashing Hulk
I
Hogan
wrote
and
down
things
a
like that.
couple other wrestlers that have died since the 2020s have started.
Okay.
Jay Briscoe, who obviously he passed away this year, right?
Right. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did the
His brother is now doing stuff in AEW. So Jay Briscoe, for many of you that don't know, was part of the Briscoe tag team with his brothers on Ring of Honor. And like I was saying, his brother is now doing amazing things on AEW now. But do you have any thoughts on Jay Briscoe?
um
I know we honored him on one previous show before.
yeah, I was like we honored him on one, but um like I said, that was kind of out of nowhere when he passed away and everything. Um uh like Michael Cole kind of said it best because I remember on an episode on SmackDown
Yeah.
where he was saying that him and his brother Mark is one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling.
Right.
And things like that. So that's kind of high respect for what he
Yeah, and then the
what he's done
WWE
and everything.
wrestlers had the Briscoe armband.
Right. So that tells you right there, like people speak like highly of him and thought highly of him and everything like that. And he had um a long career because it dated back, I think, in 2000. I want to say, if I can recall and everything, because I know he was with our Ring of Honor and things like that. So he had like a decorated career and things like that. And he, like I said, his passing was kind of like out of nowhere and shocking and everything. So I'm glad he was inducted into the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame in 2000 last year. So he was able to like portray in that and everything. But yeah, Jay Briscoe definitely.
And I'm just gonna read off the names that I have left, and then we'll talk about some other ones as well. But I have Brody Lee, Dave Hebner, Howard Finkel, Pat Patterson, Rocky Johnson, who that's The Rock's dad, Scott Hall, Bobby Eaton. I mean, am I missing anyone? Billy Graham, who passed away
Superstar Billy
just
Graham.
recently.
Yeah.
But I mean, Brody Lee was, you talk about shocking death. That one shook almost every wrestling fan to its core. One in particular named Bray Wyatt. The hat has returned. Hashtag the hat has returned.
Now the only question is, will the Fiend return?
Maybe, probably not. But no, Brody Lee's passing shook the whole wrestling community. Wouldn't you say so?
Definitely. Oh yeah, it definitely did. Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, that was kind of out of nowhere. I know. If I recall correctly, nobody really knew that he had like what he had like the lung issue and everything. And with the COVID and things like that, nobody really knew much of all that condition and everything. And it was like a shock to me when he passed away and everything in 2020. But it's like with the wrestlers' deaths, like passing away, it's like when they're active, it hits hard because they're active. So it's like we see them on TV 1 minute, and the next thing you know, they're gone. So it's kind of Brody Lee definitely, like I said, was a shocker to me and everything. He definitely will be missed. And I have a few that you forgot to mention, especially this year. Bushwhacker Butch.
Okay.
He passed away. Bushwhackers, like I said, was entertaining tag team. They weren't a tag team where it's like they were gonna like dominate the tag team division. They were like a typical mid-card tag team, but they were entertaining. And it's at this point, like especially back in the day, that's what gravitates to fans and everything, how you can entertain fans, especially kids, things like that back in the day. So he definitely was a part of doing a good job on that one. Jeff Jarrett's dad passed away, Jerry. He passed away this year. Macho Man's brother, Lanny, aka the Genius, because he was the Genius when he was with WWE. He passed away, and then like I said, we already said superstar Billy Graham and everything. But yeah, it's like, yeah, we're losing greats, honestly. Like,
It's
um,
do you feel that when these wrestlers, unfortunately, when they pass on, like I'm talking about not like the ones from like old, like the ones from old times, yeah, they hurt, but like the Brody Lees and like when Chris Benoit's whole issue came up, um, they had they faked McMahon's death just to cover up Benoit's, you know, and my camera's gone. Um,
mhm.
to fake. There, I'm back. I go and I come back as I talk about death. Look at that. Just to like the ones that are like current, like the wrestlers that are current. Us as fans, like you and me are both fans, and everyone that watches, a lot of people are fans. We get
Right,
emotional
right,
over these people when they pass away,
right.
and it's. I wonder. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like all the wrestlers, if you're watching this show, which you probably should, Um, just know that us, the fans, we care about you guys. We watch you. We enjoy watching you guys. That's why we do a freaking podcast about y'all. Um, but I don't know. Does it bother you or does it eat at you when like current wrestlers unfortunately lose their lives?
Um, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really necessarily bother me, but like I said, at the same time, like you said, like they're the reason why we even doing this podcast is because
Yeah.
we watch them and everything and they entertain us and things like that. Um um like I said, we're even though we're not, they obviously don't know who we
Right.
are and
They
things like
they
that,
should
but
know who we are. They
they
should.
should, right? If they follow the
Yeah.
podcast and everything like that. But it's like we're still connected to them some way when they passing away. Cause I remember way back when uh in 99, I wanna say, definitely, yeah, 99, I wanna say, when Owen passed away. Like I was
Mhm.
only 8 years old when it happened, but
Right.
it felt like he was part of my family when he passed away because
Right.
that was like probably the first real death like in the wrestling industry that kind of got to me, so
Yeah.
um it doesn't like bother me per se, especially given like how like who they are, put it that way, and things like that. It's just like I said, just a sad situation because like I said earlier, when they're active it hits hard because
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, they're still like, most of them are still in their prime and
Right.
like and everything, and they just lose their life. But if they're not active, it still hits as hard as well because it's like, oh, I grew up watching this particular
Yeah.
person. It's sad that he's passing away, and things like that. So it doesn't like
I
it
mean,
doesn't bother
like
me. It
when
just
when Roman came out and announced his leukemia had come back, that
right,
actually like that hit me hard. Like I went and I bought a Roman T-shirt right after he announced that he had, and it
right,
was it
right,
was it was the live fight forever shirt.
right.
Because I don't know, it resonated with me the fact that this top superstar is battling a very serious illness and he's going on and still promoting himself and all that. And look at that, he came back and now he's probably one of the best of all time. And he
Right. And it's
underwent
like I said, and then
trim-
at that time, it was like the least I can do is support the guy. It's
exactly.
like at that time when it happened, everything is like you're thinking that to yourself. It was like, oh wow, like he's actually like fighting this and everything, and he's entertaining us. Like we gotta at least like support the guy, like buy something, a merch or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Send him a message on Twitter. Like things like that. Because like I said, they're here to entertain us, like
Right.
and things like that. And they put their body on the line and things like that
Yeah.
for the reason. So
They do. They do. So here's a question I want to ask our producer Bobby right now is Bobby, is there any wrestler that kind of hit at you when unfortunately you heard that they passed away?
Yeah. The biggest one was obviously Eddie Guerrero.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero, and then would be Macho Man would be the second one.
Okay.
Eddie Guerrero because he was so present even when he wasn't the champion, he was so present in everyone's lives as a wrestling fan. That when he died unexpectedly, so prevalent, it was shocking. As somebody you expected to see the next week at the pay-per-view because it was Survivor Series. He's supposed to be a part of the Survivor Series team, and then he was gone. And it was just the emotion that you dealt as a fan, but also what you saw on TV with Benoit, which of course, I know that's but Benoit, Triple H, Mysterio, Chavo, you felt that. You felt like you lost someone in your own family, and you still do to this day. That's why people still go crazy when you hear Eddie's music. Viva La Raza. You play that, and people jump still to this day. Macho Man was big because I grew up on Macho Man, and WCW more, but of course I used to rent out the old WrestleManias, Macho Man versus Hogan, the Mega Powers, Macho Man, Hogan, Piper. Those guys were what I grew up on, in NWO time. So when Macho Man died, I was like, damn, that's my childhood. So yeah, those were the two guys that really hit me.
No, absolutely. And I didn't even think about Eddie Guerrero. Like, shit. Like, I remember I was watching that when he died. I was in tears. I was literally in tears when they announced
I remember when it happened. I was in high school. I think I'm pretty sure I was a freshman in high school when it happened. And my dad never comes to my school. Like, obviously, and then I get a thing was like, Alfred, can you come into the office? And I'm like, at my high school. And I was like, okay, thinking no big deal and everything. And he comes to my school and he's telling me the whole thing and everything and showing me like where it was at and everything. And it kind of resonated. It was like, wow, that was insane. And it's even more sadder when Sasha Banks is a huge Eddie Guerrero fan. And I read that she went to the arena that Raw when they did the tribute, and she didn't even much know he passed away until she was at the show. That was like that. Hearing that was like, wow, that kind of hit me and everything. And then I think another one that kind of got me despite is Ultimate Warrior when he passed away.
He literally got an award, and then he died the next week
in the Hall of Fame. And then he did his promo on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And then a day or two later, he just passed away. It's like
the very next day, going home.
Next day,
he died in the parking lot.
So like I said, those two are the notable ones that really got me. Those definitely the two notable ones got me right there. And then Scott Hall too. Honestly, Scott Hall when he passed away.
Hey yo!
Scott Hall for sure. Yeah, that's another one, dude. That one hit me. If you want to know about the ins and outs truly of wrestling, professional wrestling, they're like the mental of it, and listen to some great stories and true stories. Cause some of these guys, they make stuff up. They try to, and all this. Listen to Scott Hall, go to a shoot interview, type in Scott Hall shoot interview. None of his stories ever change, but he can tell you about the psychiatry of it all. He'll tell you all these stories for back in the day. They never change. He's never trying to put himself over. It's always about everybody else. Chris Jericho, he's brought up, Scott Hall was huge. That's a great name.
Yeah, Scott Hall, big. Scott Hall was on my list too. Bobby, can you bring up that last comment by Ryan Taylor before we close out the show? Because I want to end with that. All right, so they play superheroes on TV, and when they pass, we're reminded they're mortal, they're human. Ryan Taylor says it perfectly right there. Is the fact that these guys are looked at as, like he said, superheroes to kids. They're some of our favorite people that we love seeing, and then when they're gone, it hits us as fans, and we're like, God damn, these are real people too. Like, these guys aren't indestructible and all that stuff. They are exactly real people and all that. So, Alfred, I think this is a good time. That comment right there is a perfect spot to end it. Next week, we will be doing an AEW Collision preview, so I'm going to be reaching out to Josh Kimmel to see if he wants to come on next week. I know he asked me. By the way, Alfred, Josh now does videos for his show, and he has asked us to come on it. It's right before ours, not on FinTalk Sports Network. Sorry, Bobby.
No, it's okay.
But he has asked, if we wanted to be a part of it. But next week I was thinking we do after for the AEW Collision, since it is summertime. How would you guys feel we did a Summer Bash episode? Now, what does that entail? I have no idea. But if you have ideas, send them to us. Here's where you can send it. Alfred, plug yourself.
Okay, you can send it to me on Twitter, 8_Matthew713.
And if you please, I am dead serious. Summer Bash ideas. I'm gonna name the episode right now. Bobby, you're hearing it. Summer Bash. At AlexBB29, but more importantly, to our podcast page, which is capital N, capital H, capital B to that Bard podcast. So capital NH Bard podcast. More importantly, please subscribe to FinTalk Sports Network. A lot of amazing things happening. They had What the Puck the other day, which was their brand new hockey show with Evan and Josh. So great things happening. I know they're trying to get, if you're interested in doing a baseball show, I know Bobby, our producer, who you heard earlier, like the voice of God, is looking for someone to do a Miami Marlins show and then just a general baseball show. So please, if you're interested, please go ahead and reach out to FinTalk Sports Network. But like, share, subscribe, and more importantly, remember that these wrestlers are people as well. Rest in peace, Iron Sheik. Rest in peace, other wrestlers that we mentioned tonight. And with that, I want to give peace.
Mm-hmm.